You pay a yearly fee. And then you get a certain number of services every week, and it's like, whatever you want. They'll drive you to your doctor's appointment, take you to take your recycle, you know what I mean, like,
Nice.
yeah. It's really.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 17th meeting of the Village of New Paltz Planning Board. Tonight, we have our usual administrative business, followed by public comment and 3 application reviews. To begin with, looking at the past meeting minutes, we have meeting minutes for December 23rd and were the January meeting?
The January.
Okay, no worries. Were there any questions or updates for the December 23rd meeting minutes?
No.
Not, could I get a motion to approve the December 23rd meeting minutes?
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, our updates. Do we have any updates from our village board and Ulster County Planning Board liaison? I guess that would be Rich Soto.
Yeah, Rich said he would try to email anything he had, so I did not see anything from him, so I believe he has nothing.
Is he our liaison now?
He is. the
Oh,
liaison.
that's awesome.
Are there any updates from the Environmental Policy Board?
The Environmental Policy Board needs help. There has been absolutely no activity on the part of the village government or anyone else to build that committee. And I used to do that a long time ago, but it's very important for the support. I mean, the trustees are in charge with the support of a committee. And part of that is recruiting people to be on the committee. And there's no one on that committee, and there's been no one all year, pretty much. And we haven't had any quorum, any meetings. And it's really sad because I think the Environmental Policy Board is important. And if it merges with the town, then at least they'll have some members.
Yeah. Any updates from our Director of Planning and Zoning, Mike?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Is there anything happening with the code updates, or that's just tabled?
I had a meeting with the acting mayor and trustee Soto last 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, and went through a few things and some things that I needed the board to decide which, direction they wanted to go on a few items. We kind of agreed that we would try to meet at least once a month for that process. The goal is to get that to a point where it's something that they can then circulate for comment to this board and the county planning board. I think we're a little ways away from anything happening, but I think we're just gonna focus with them for the moment. They decided to break down and to not take the time of the regular board meetings and to work on it as a subcommittee of the board with the 2 of them for the moment. So I think it'll be a while before anything comes back.
Okay, thank you. And I assume no town planning board updates either.
No town planning board updates. We have started with our intermunicipal agreement with the town for building inspector, and that's working out fairly well. He's handling the inspections and seems to be running smoothly. We did put an ad out for a new building inspector on Indeed, and last Thursday, and by yesterday I had 5 applications, so good sign. So, we'll be working through that list and offering interviews to those that meet the criteria, and hopefully some more will come in. but hopefully sooner rather than later, we will have at least a part-time building inspector back on staff.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Lastly, I see, here just an update about the joint meeting with the HPC. I regretfully could not attend that.
Yeah, Terry was able to attend, and Terry, I don't wanna put you on the spot, is there anything you wanna just say about what you thought the meeting? I could give a synopsis, but.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I felt the handouts they gave us were excellent. Mike, maybe we could make copies of these and circulate them to the board or just somehow get them to them. I'll be honest with you, members of the board. I don't remember the details of the proposal that they brought to us back in 2025. But what they shared with us at the last meeting was that they had, in my opinion, they had substantially changed that proposal. They have substantially reduced parking, they have substantially reduced the size of the building. They haven't really changed, I don't think they've changed the look of it too much, but it seems to me that they heard people who said they didn't like it. And they made some substantial changes. I think where we are with this, I think we're waiting for the Historic Preservation Commission to make a report.
No, actually, at this point, where we are now is when they asked us to come back on our agenda, this board is now lead agency for seeker.
Okay.
So we have to complete the seeker review.
Okay.
The HPC can continue to review, but they can't make any decisions until seeker's completed.
Okay. Okay.
I would like to see it.
Yeah, I mean,
Did they really make it smaller?
It's in
I mean,
They didn't
the
really, no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
marginally small, it's like
building
a
itself.
fraction,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not, okay, yeah.
okay,
But it-
well, sorry, I misspoke, but,
Okay,
you
no,
know,
it's important because it was huge. And.
well, I don't think that's accurate either. I think the
okay.
building's huge, I think it's different, I think it's gonna be different in that neighborhood, but different doesn't make it huge, it doesn't make it out of line. And our attorney has advised us that we should be focusing on the environmental impacts of the project
Mhm.
first.
Yes,
I made that point at the meeting, that I wasn't gonna opine on the look and the feel of the building. I only had one little simple question about some of their stormwater management stuff, that was all it was, so. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if you want these, you
I
can
do.
send them around to people. I'm gonna keep my copies because I found them to be quite helpful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask them for that because I
well,
I
hey,
didn't
you-
realize it was.
all right.
I'll ask them for it. You hang on to it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and,
can I just look at it?
yeah,
Do you mind showing Rachel so she can see it? Just
right now,
Take a quick look.
well, I think we have why don't we
Okay, no problem.
focus on the agenda and,
Sure, no problem.
yeah, let's do that.
All right,
That's really, and I think it was a productive meeting. They spent a lot of time and they got a lot of feedback from the HPC members and kind of, because it was the first time in quite a while, they had been back to us, but they hadn't been back in the HPC, so it was a considerable change for the HPC. And
thanks.
as far as next step, I'm waiting to hear back from them when they want to be back on our agenda. So.
Great. Next we have our public comment section. Did anyone sign up to make a general public comment? Anyone here to make a comment, public comment?
It's involved with
No.
the application.
No one online? All right, no, don't think so. Great, then moving on to our first application, have PB 2603 185 Route 32 North. Please, yeah, please come up.
Hello.
So, to begin, if you'd like to just give us a overview of what you're proposing and
Sure, I wasn't sure how many copies, I knew it was attached to the agenda, so just brought a couple of the site plan. So currently the back of the house, which is facing Old Kingston, has a ramp that runs along the side of it. We would like to remove the ramp and in place, put a couple steps. The change though is that we want to do a walk, but the walkway is not going to be exactly right along the side of the house. We want to pull it away from the house a little bit and put some landscaping. And then just have the path go pretty much to the location that the ramp goes to. It'll be maybe a difference of a foot or so, not too far. So that's one aspect of it. And the other is there's currently a deck that's not in great shape, so we would like to remove that deck. And in doing so, replace it with a deck that will be larger. And we'll also have a portion of it that will have a flat roof. So that's it. And so, I don't know, did I miss anything? Nope. So we have a couple. That was not successful.
That's all right, you need paper here.
Thank you. Yeah, I only did 3.
Okay.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
it's
that-
attached. It is attached. Okay, I wasn't sure. Yes.
So you're not cutting any trees down? No,
No. No, we love our trees.
okay, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, the only reason that this is coming to this board is because of the increase in the size of the deck, the change, the removal of the ramp and change to the path. Probably wouldn't have risen to the level of needing to come here, but the addition of the deck, you know, the removal and the change in the size by 96 square feet is what's triggering that.
I'm trying.
great. Yeah, no, it looks very straightforward to me as well. There are a couple of steps we have to take. First being, can I get a motion to classify this application as type 2 under seeker?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And I think we're ready to set the public hearing. So could I get a motion to set the public hearing for this application for our next meeting, which is
March 3rd.
March 3rd?
So moved.
Yes. Oh, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And I think that's pretty much it for.
Is there anything that we have to do prior to that?
You'll
So
have to do a little bit for the public hearing.
You'll let me know.
I'll send you the
Yeah.
information.
just some notices you have to put up, so universities.
And just for the board, this, because it's on a state highway, it normally would need referral from the county planning board, but because it's a residential use, it's exempt. And so it does not.
Makes it easier.
Great. Good.
Excellent.
Uh,
Thank you so
yeah.
much for your
So we'll
work.
see you in March.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll get that to you.
Okay.
Next we have PB 2602, 137 North Chestnut Street.
And I'll have them from LRC.
I'm back there.
Would you like us to do a small presentation on the changes?
Yeah, I think so. If you have a big copy of the site plan, maybe we could just unfold it out here.
I've got it. He's got the board right here.
That's the changes involving the roadway,
Not just putting that on here, so.
and this is. The site. That's all required by the DOT.
You really wanna look at the SP one. Which is your next sheet there after the existing conditions. Maybe one more right in there, stuck together.
SDM.
There you go. That's kind of the overall, sheet. And then the other one would be landscape. Go down. So, thank you. So this project, as you know, is, currently in construction. Moving along on the project. Just some aerial photos of it moving along here. We're getting closer and closer every day, which is great. One of the things that we wanted to do with this project is we reduced the offices by about 237 square feet. And increased the units, from 51 to 53 by adding 2 studio, units within the building. I'll show that in a minute. Site plan wise, this is the approved site plan. You'll notice in the area on the back right here, where I'm showing, that area was modified with the new site plan and adjusted to make the dumpster a little easier with the straight in access by putting it over here and adding some spacing over here to give them a little more parking within the developed area. There is no change in the overall disturbance because it's all within the originally disturbed areas. So there's no change in that. Everything was accounted for in the stormwater design and it meets all the stormwater design requirements. We did redesign the streetscape out front a little bit here. It was a very large concrete walk area all the way through to the end. And we've given it some more identity with individual entries and some more landscaping features in between to green the front of it up rather than having a hardscape the whole front along the main roads. As you can see here, we've added some more trees and shrubs in between, so it does give it a little more feel of that kind of homey, more collective area rather than more commercial, just straight on right up against the road. There is still an open area on the right-hand side for some outdoor area here, which has a little, because of the way the grades work, this grade drops down a little bit. So we have some stairs here up, but it does have an ADA walk in here, accessibility from the street as well to this area, these commercial units on the end. One of the other components within the project is the DOT. We've been through discussions with the DOT. They've required and requested us to do a left turn, right turn, center lane through here. All of the work is really on what would be the west side or our side of the road, so to speak. There's a little bit of drainage work on the other side, all within the right of way. We're currently working through with the DOT on those permits. We're past conceptual. We've got first rounds of comments back. We're moving through towards the permit issuance on that end. It does take into account here to the north past 145, this being the 145 building here. The ability for the project to our north, when they go to their DOT permits and do that, they'll tag on and adjust this turn lane down further to them as the DOT sees fit on their project. This works for 137 and 145 as one DOT permit. The front facade of the building gets a little bit of a change along the front. In here, not a whole lot, just individual places of visual on each one of the storefront doors so that everyone has kind of an identity. The rear of the building and side of the building doesn't really change much at all. This is the first floor, second and third floor where the lobby was, and this is where on the units where we added the proposed 2 studio units in those 2 spaces that were lobbies on those floors. That's really it in a nutshell.
So where in the floor plan were the businesses removed, the commercial space removed?
Well, it's the way the code reads, it's office and commercial, and it's the lobby, what was considered. You can speak.
I think you're asking about the reduction of 200 and some odd square feet.
The 237.
Right.
That's down in here, exactly where it is reworking of mechanicals and stuff like that. I don't have an exact location of where that 237 feet
Okay.
on the office side and retail side. But
But
it's,
it's not like one of the retail
No.
spaces on the first floor.
the whole front still has retail out to the front. I know we were before you, a while ago, with the idea of potentially removing that. That is no longer even in the picture. We're commercial front all the way out, just like was approved, just some interior space to the commercial area that got reallocated that way.
Bless you. So how does the addition of the turn lane affect the streetscape? Did you have to cut into the paved area or the walkable area in front of the?
No, what's really nice is, nice and bad, as we all know, who's been here my whole life, that is a very wide 30-mile-an-hour road. And it's beyond the normal limits of what would be the requirements of a 30-mile-an-hour. So, there's enough shoulder space there in the roads and then space beyond the white line that most of the work can occur right in that paved area that's already there. It's what the benefit of it is it's gonna see a feel of being tighter and smaller because the shoulders, instead of 12-foot shoulders with a white line, are now gonna be 5-foot shoulders. So now it's gonna feel closer. And the benefit of that is that typically is a traffic calming measure. You know what I mean? When you hop on a road and you see wide open road, you go faster. You know what I mean? And being that the buildings here will pull it down, now we're gonna have a turn lane in the middle, it's gonna feel tighter, so hopefully the average speeds will come back down to what we've always wanted them to be, which is 35 miles an hour.
So it was the State Department of Transportation that put the turning lane in,
Correct.
more commonly referred to as a suicide lane, I might add. That is bizarre.
Yeah, I was involved in it.
They're requiring it for all three projects.
Correct.
And now there's gonna be a suicide lane all the way down that road.
Across those three projects, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But at least they'll have a
They just
sidewalk.
did the same thing, on 52 in Fishkill.
How are they doing it, lowering the speed limit on that road?
We still have the request in, they haven't taken any action.
So their reaction to that is, let's put a suicide lane. Now, I'm gonna keep saying suicide lane over and over again, because that's what they are. They are not turning lanes, they are suicide lanes. That is bizarre. I understand there's nothing you can do about it. I'm just talking over your head.
And
That's a shame.
we had plenty of back and forth with them on the subject,
Absolute shit.
because as you know, I mean, the applicant is now having to change the whole process of what we were originally approved for.
Oh.
So no one's happy about it either, for a whole bunch of reasons, because none of us think it's necessary, but unfortunately, that's what we've been
I mean,
required.
those two intersections are gonna become disasters, absolute disasters. Oh. That.
Are there any other questions from the board?
Well, just my own experience from just seeing the plans of, like, this is 145, the other building, and then seeing it built. It's just the amount of dark color on that building. It's like a dark, like a charcoal gray and a dark brown, and you look at it, and from the rail trail, it looks like the Death Star. I mean, sorry, but it's just, I mean, you know, there's all this talk about character and this and that, and I just wish that the buildings weren't so big and dark and foreboding looking. I don't know. I mean,
One
it's-
37 does have a different color palette.
Yeah, 137
It's
still has,
lighter.
doesn't have the color.
Correct,
Right.
but the finished product is different.
Right.
It's a different color scheme.
It's gonna be
compared to
lighter in color and,
It has brick.
yeah.
So, but the facade, the design of the facade facing the road is not significantly different from that.
No, what was approved, so.
Correct.
Great. Um,
That actually brings me to the point about the DRB referral.
Yeah.
Mike and I spoke and we agreed that if the facade's not changing, then, you know, there really isn't any need to re-refer it, so.
great, yeah, I agree. Do that. Are there any other consultants that we would need to?
That's
refer this to?
actually a good question. Another one that Mike and I spoke about was the traffic consultant. And, you know, we weren't sure if that was actually required because the DOT is already reviewing it. So I think, you know, that we're probably okay on that as well.
And the changes are all happening within the DOT's
Right.
property, not within their property, so there's nothing we can do to. The only thing you can do to override the DOT is make something more restrictive than what they would. But you can't go less than what they want, so.
And then I guess the count, I think that's the, obviously that's.
Yeah, I think this probably should, it's enough of a change that I think we should. Even if only for the fact that the county can make comments back to the DOT.
Oh, interesting.
So it may not hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think we have to get as many comments as we can.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna be.
I don't think they're changing. I mean, they pretty much have said this now.
You're not crossing 3 lanes of traffic to make a left-hand turn. I mean, it's bizarre. This is now bizarre.
Yeah,
I mean, the vast majority of places in America are reducing these suicide lanes. They're taking them out, they're not putting them in. And then to put one in here that's almost half a mile long. All right, you're not gonna be able to figure out whether you're going in a driveway, whether you're going into somebody.
So there aren't like stripes on it to tell you which
Oh, yeah, there's stripes.
way to,
Oh, yes.
I don't drive, so.
There's stripes, there's slashes, there's signage, there's everything. The bottom line is, you got cars going in opposite directions in the same lane, head to head, down the middle of a road. And where it's really confusing, now you pull out into that road to make a turn, you're not going across 2 lanes of traffic, now you're going across 3, one of which has 2 cars coming head to head right at you. Oh, they're disasters.
One question I had is, what floor are those 2 additional residential units?
Oh, sure, like those.
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
No, we can't change it, so.
Actually, the.
Well, I can make some, and I will make some.
So there's not, so you didn't, since you didn't put out any retail space, this took out lobby space, so there's no like, is there communal space for people who live in the building anymore, or?
We have shared amenities at the 145 building, a very large community room, a large gym. So the idea is that the amenities are shared at 145, so all residents at 137 will have access to the amenities at the other building. And they were never, the lobbies on floors 2 and 3 that we turned into studios were never enclosed rooms or programmed. It was sort of like an elevator lobby, like just a big open space.
It was not a programmatic space. It was just kind of a void between other built rooms.
Well, I feel confident hearing this, that, the previous seeker review does, was sufficient for these changes, broad enough to, encompass this proposal. So I don't think we need to reopen seeker. I guess the next steps then would be, referring to the Ulster County Planning Board, so could I get a motion to refer this to the Ulster County Planning Board?
Make a motion. That's not also on the board.
All in favor?
Aye.
And, I think it's ready to set the public hearing as well, so could I get a motion to set the public hearing for, this application?
If we do it on March third, we're gonna have to hold it open because we won't have the county comments back. Do you wanna push it until March 17th? Is that an issue for you guys?
Would make more sense to do it when we can make an action at the meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the county planning board meets on March 4th, so I wouldn't have any comments back from them by the 3rd. I mean, you could do it and it's up to what Lori thinks about closing the public hearing. I mean, if anything monumental came back from the county planning board, you could reopen it. Normally, my experience is you wait till you get the county's comments back before you close the public hearing, just in case. So the public can comment on anything the county brings up.
Yeah, I think that's.
Sure, yeah,
You guys are okay waiting until
let's,
17th?
let's do that, and,
Well, either way, we wouldn't be able to move the application on the 4th anyway, so
Right, you'd have to hold it open to the next meeting.
we're just coming twice.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean-
we'll just make it.
So it would make more sense, there's not a big subject that we have opportunity that we still have to work through, so 17th makes the most sense to us, if that's okay with you.
Agreed. So could I have a motion to set the public hearing for March 17th?
So.
All in favor?
Second. Aye.
Aye. That was Rachel did the second. I don't know if we've heard that.
I got it, you got it.
All right. There was anything else, okay, at this time. But, yeah, no major landscape stuff or.
No, there would just be the additional recreation fees for those two.
What do you mean? What is the
Yeah.
material,
Yeah.
the front facade?
Yeah, it's, just pull up see if I have an elevation in front of me.
I have that one here from the presentation, but.
Oh, but yeah,
So there is some brick, as you see in these columns here, this, I believe this is the brick.
Is it real brick?
I don't know the answer to that.
I'm just
I have
curious.
to find out if it was
I'm just
thin brick
curious.
or real brick.
Nothing's real anymore.
Most of them are.
You did a building in 249 Main Street in Fish and Beacon.
Yeah, and we're doing 364 Main and Beacon right now, that's real brick. So
So 249 is not.
249, I don't know the specifics, that was our construction company did that project for a client. We didn't develop it ourselves, we didn't have a say in the design process. So I don't know actually on that one. But 364 Main, we are on both the development, the design side and construction, and that one is real brick. Here, I'm pulling up renderings that should match pretty closely, if not exactly. I hope they didn't take any artistic liberties. I don't know though if you all can see, I have a pretty small screen, but I do think it's a bit lighter, the hardy plank, but there, you see where there's brick, and
Yeah.
then there's the back of the building, so from the rail, this is so small, I apologize. From the rail trail. Those look darker here than the materials that we actually, but
Right.
a bit different from the other one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we'll see you in a couple weeks in March, yes.
We need to go to. Presentation.
Only if you want.
There's on the board.
Yeah.
But I remember the fire engine in front of our office parking lot. Couldn't get out.
Oh, no. No worries.
I apologize, I forgot to put this in your packet, so.
Oh, thank
take
you.
one and Pass it down for the next application.
Yeah, so next, we're looking at PV 2407, 147, 149, 151 North Chestnut.
Yeah,
And-
Taylor is here, and there he is.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good to see you all. For the record, Taylor Palmer with Cuddy and Fader, on behalf of the applicant tonight. As is detailed in our January 30th submission, tonight we're just looking for 290-day extensions of our subdivision approval, so 180 days, and then hopefully a 1-year extension of the site plan and special permit approvals that you all granted. Those were granted back in June, and then we had an extension back in September, which is set to expire in March. So just by way of brief update, we did try and include that in our supplemental submission to you all, but we are working diligently to try and satisfy the conditions of that approval. As part of that, as we included, and sorry, I didn't realize it was that voluminous, but we included all of the agreements that were signed and executed by the village for, including the rail trail access agreement, the developers agreement, the stormwater control facilities maintenance agreement, among others. And then more recently, we did meet with village staff, and we're just at the DRB last week. We still have to go back to the DRB for another meeting. They wanted us to be more on brand with the prior submission to them, some of their changes. We tried to be responsive, but I think they wanted us to be closer to what they had seen previously. So we're working to address that. We had a new architect come in to do the construction plans. So that led us to make some changes to make the project functional, more viable and more functional. So we'll be back before them for the next meeting. Our engineer is going to be reaching out. So Mike, just so you have a heads up, our traffic engineer, I should say, will be reaching out to you to provide you a DOT update. I don't know if he's already done that, but to the extent he hasn't, he will be doing so. They had to give us some options on what to do for our DOT condition to our approval. So that's coming. So for now, we are still working through the conditions of the approval, and of course are looking for some additional time so that we can try and get the plat in position to be filed, and then ultimately get the site plan conditions ready and get building out on the site.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Lori drafted up a resolution for you that is what we just handed out. Apologies, Taylor, I didn't get it to you, but it's standard terminology and basically saying 6 months for the subdivision and 1 year for the site plan and special use approval extension.
Great.
Yes, Terry?
I have numerous concerns about the traffic on, and it's not your fault, I understand that. And in this case, you might be caught in the middle. I don't know if you've seen the addition of a suicide lane down the middle of 32. The applicant who was just here before you presented us a plan where the DOT is requiring that be put in front of your property. I'm also concerned, I've mentioned many times, that the speed limit on that road needs to be lowered before these projects are occupied. So my question tonight is, can we put a condition in here that says you can't get a CO until that speed limit is reduced? I'll look for the attorney to give me an opinion.
I think we actually considered that early on when we granted the first approval, and it's just contingent on the DOT, so it really wouldn't be fair to the applicant.
I understand, I haven't said it wouldn't be fair to him.
Yeah,
I mean, I disclosed that to him.
yeah.
Yeah, no, this would be that. I won't speak to sort of the legality of it. That would be, there's been no change in circumstances since the project was approved. So that would be an arbitrary and capricious inclusion. But for purposes of tonight, I can let you know that the DOT has provided us with some information about how we'll address our site. So I actually think our site will be even more functional, because what will ultimately be approved, or what Mr. Baden will hear from our traffic consultant, is that will be a right in on our north end of the site. So it'll be right in, right out only right in at that location. And then we have the shared access with our neighbors. So we're actually going to be a more functional, safer condition than maybe those other projects and where we were before. So there is betterment coming to this at the sort of behest of DOT. So for us, I would just say, if anything, we're actually getting better than we were, and would have less operations from 2 exits. It'll only be right in. And then the only way you'll be able to go left is from the shared interchange that we have with our southern neighbor.
So the third lane will not continue across the front of your project, it will terminate at the southern entrance?
That would, I can't say specifically, Mike. I just
Okay.
know that it's somewhere past the culvert. If that
Yeah, I
helps.
mean, if the northern entrance is a right in and right out only, there's no need then for the third lane across your front of your property, so that may be actually very different than what these other two projects are facing.
I hope so, because if you do have a turning lane in front of your property, or a suicide lane, as they're most commonly called, it will be much less safe.
Right, and typically, just for benefit of the board, and I know your traffic consultants and folks aren't here, so I'm playing Taylor on traffic. But typically, we have to offer write-in options as a traffic mitigation measure. Normally, an applicant wants to have dual movements at an intersection. You don't want to limit yourself to a write-in only, or you want to be able to have your tenants being in and out whichever way they see fit, right? The most way you can get your folks in and out. This is actually a limitation on access and actually, again, limits those functions. So you are creating better, typically as seen as a traffic mitigation or further reduction on the potential impacts of a project.
We received an update on the force main, the sewer project. That was necessary for all these buildings to contribute to in order for them to exist.
So
as a pump station?
You
The
can
pump
ask
station,
him, but I believe he said they were working on that agreement as, having.
So the agreement is signed,
What about the work itself?
that's up to the DPW head.
So that has not been, has it been started? Like all these
It's up to
buildings are.
it's up to
Oh my
the Public Works
God.
Superintendent.
I would-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we've put together our agreements and put everything in place. I think the next steps are finalizing some of these conditions beyond where we are and getting the plat filed, which, requires county health and all the folks to sign off as well as the chairman. And then we get that recorded together with these agreements at the same time, and we're working towards it. I mean, we already have a great, we had a fill permit to bring some of the fill onto site. We're going to be submitting a request related to our tree clearing before the March 31st deadline. So there's a host of things that we're doing to get the site working in the meantime. But we are, we're working. I think I speak to Mike at least once a week, if not more.
Understood. Well, I'm comfortable with authorizing the extension for the site plan, the subdivision and the special use permit and site plan extension. We have a resolution prepared, so are there no other questions for the applicant?
Darren, I just had one quick question. Did you guys get back to us, and I don't remember the answer, the filed agreements with the county, the ones that were just certifying that they were filed with the county?
So we were going to file those when we filed the plat. So we have them and we usually file them at the same time. So so when the map is filed, we record the agreements.
Okay, that's fine, no problem, we can do that.
Long way of saying no, we have not, they haven't been filed yet.
That works just fine.
Okay, in that case, could I get a motion approving the subdivision, special use permit and site plan extension for 141, 147, 149, 151 North Chestnut Street?
I make a motion to approve the resolution of the approval.
Second,
And could we have a roll call vote, please, for this
Sure.
resolution?
Rachel,
Aye.
Maureen,
Aye.
Terry,
aye.
Zach.
Aye.
Thank you all. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that is all we have for tonight, so could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.